Sam is a former collegiate athlete in his mid-30s who has recently become more self-aware of his level of obesity and inactivity since he finished college and entered the workforce. He is married with 2 young children. Sam states that his focus on establishing himself within a professional environment, meeting and marrying his wife, and the birth of his children have led to him not prioritizing physical activity and healthy eating habits over the last 10 years, and this has led to his obesity. Sam's desire is to change his behaviors, focus on his physical health, and be a better example of self-care for his family. To this end, his goal behavior changes include running 3 days a week with an eventual maintenance goal of 15 miles a week, 2 strength and conditioning sessions a week, with 1 session focused on high-intensity interval training utilizing resistance, and 1 hour-long session focused on compound lifting techniques to ensure full body engagement using heavy resistance and low volume to prevent excessive delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS, which may interfere with his cardio goals. Sam ran cross country throughout high school and into college and feels very confident about crafting a running program that will meet his running goals. He knows from his time competing that he needs to maximize his resistance training by utilizing full body workouts, and that he wants to avoid DOMs to prevent jeopardizing his other cardio goals. But he does not have the necessary background or much experience with strength training and feels less confident with this behavior change. Sam does have a male coworker of a similar age who has expressed a willingness to help Sam and has a high level of confidence in strength training.
Self-efficacy theory explains a certain perceived capability which examines the extent an individual feels they will succeed when performing a certain behavior given their abilities in specific situations. This theory displays 4 sources which lead to self-efficacy, which are past performances, which are just the activities similar to or the same as the current behavior that individual has previously engaged in to some degree of success. Vicarious experiences, which are one individual viewing the performance of a behavior by another individual, which is a certain model. Social persuasion, which is verbal and nonverbal tactics used by others to increase a person's self-efficacy. And physiological/affective states, which are physical things like heart rate, sweat rate, pain, fatigue, and affective or emotional things like positive and negative emotions. These sources of self-efficacy influence our behavior, our cognition, and our effect, which are just our thoughts, actions, and our emotions. Now, the sources of self-efficacy play a big role in this intervention because Sam will use his past performances of cross-country to help him get back into running. He will use his vicarious experiences from examining a coworker who just recently got into physical activity to help him start his journey. For social persuasion, Sam will start working out with his wife for positive encouragement to keep him going during this difficult transition in his life. And for physiological and affective states, Sam beginning to work out again will increase his mood, his heart rate, and will help him decrease levels of fatigue at the office, which will overall improve his life. These sources will also help Sam increase his overall self-efficacy, which lead to engaging in more physical activity behaviors, help him think about physical activity more throughout his life, and develop new positive emotions in his life. A peer-reviewed article of a meta-analysis also examined the sources of self-efficacy and found that past performances and vicarious experiences produce the highest levels of self-efficacy in the intervention process. This means that Sam's past experience of running on the cross-country team and being able to witness his coworker also get into physical activity, even though he has long days in the office, will help him kickstart his journey and really help him build self-efficacy to increase his overall physical activity.
Now, I'm going to talk about Sam's intervention plan. First, we need to identify the target behavior we need to change in Sam. This will be to increase his weekly engagement in moderate intensity exercise from 0 days to at least 3 days per week for 60-minute sessions through planned gym-based exercise. That 60 minutes will be broken down into 40 minutes of weightlifting and 20 minutes of cardio. But Sam's got some potential barriers. For example, time. Due to his long work hours and family responsibilities, Sam has limited availability for a structured exercise routine. This leads to lower prioritization of physical activity in his daily routine. Another barrier is energy. Sam feels physically and mentally exhausted at the end of his day. His fatigue leads to low motivation and willingness to engage in exercise. And finally, family. Sam faces frequent schedule conflicts due to his family duties. These responsibilities can lead to less time for self-care, exercise, and feelings of guilt for prioritizing personal goals. But thankfully, we've got some action plans to combat those barriers. For example, if Sam has plans with his family after work, he'll go to his local gym before work and exercise for 60 minutes. If Sam is physically and mentally exhausted from his day, he will go to his local gym and only exercise for 30 minutes, because exercising for half the time is still better than not going at all. And finally, if Sam only exercises for 2 days during the week, he will go to his local gym and exercise 4 days during the next week. We're also going to use self-monitoring, and this is important because we can use it to set realistic goals for Sam, identify his challenges, and ultimately increase his adherence to the intervention plan. Sam will keep a record of his exercise routine through a fitness app named RepCount. He will record the reps, sets, and weight he did for each exercise in his routine. RepCount will also record what days and at what time Sam completes his exercise routine.
The trans-theoretical model is a model that focuses on the 5 stages of behavior change. These stages include pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. This model covers aspects of behavior change such as self-efficacy, decisional balance, and the processes of change. Pre-contemplation consists of not thinking about the behavior that is to be changed. Contemplation consists of thinking about the behavior change, but not acting upon those thoughts. Preparation consists of making small actions and steps towards the behavior change, but not committing to the behavior. Action consists of actively committing to the behavior change, and maintenance occurs when the action stage has been completed successfully for over 6 months. After going through these phases, Sam experienced some boundaries and some setbacks along the way. As he was transitioning from the preparation phase to the maintenance phase, a huge work event popped up, and it shot him straight back into the contemplation phase. Setbacks like this are common in the trans-theoretical model, as people often find themselves relapsing or going back to old habits. Although this happened, Sam is able to bounce back as he is growing his self-efficacy to be stronger and support himself better. Seeking comfort from family or friends is a great way to help with setbacks occur like these. As one goes through each step of this model, there are different processes to worry about. According to the stages of stages of change theory, more cognitive and affective processes are required initially, while the later stages require more behavioral processes. This means that it is important to work on the mind and affective processes early on, so it strengthens the behavior processes within the actual action. One issue with this model is that according to reflections on the continued popularity of the trans-theoretical model, individuals may be placed in the same stage while having rather different perspectives regarding the health behavior. This means that different perspectives may put people in different stages, and being able to recognize this is important as the process is different from person to person. Overall, this model is a vital way to help track progress throughout an intervention, and it gives good structure for each step to ultimately increase self-efficacy and be fully sufficient in the end.